But I'm making this video mainly to explain why if you see me comment with DARVO, DARVO, DARVO in comments on Twitter or YouTube, you'll know that I'm doing that because it's a tactic. I've identified it, and once you identify the tactic, it loses its power. So it's something that I want to tell you about. I will provide a link to the study itself in this YouTube video, and now I'll get to the actual comments. So, first one. This broad, spelled B-R-A-W-D, is obsessed with the Proud Boys. I honestly believe she flicks her bean to our social media feeds. Which ones? The ones that were kicked off Twitter and Facebook because people were afraid of hate crimes in advance of the Unite the Right rally? The Minds channel? The gay app that Proud Boys are trying to co-opt? Like, which one specifically? Because if you give me details, I'll look them up. I won't flick my bean to them, but I'll look them up. So anyway, someone else responded to this guy. It's broad. B-R-O-A-D. You fucking moron. That's a silly one. But that's more of an ad hominem attack. You lose your argument or your footing in a conversation, or a debate mainly, and instead of critiquing the facts of the situation or the claims that I made in my video, you attack things like my sexuality, my preferences, anything that would reflect badly on me as a woman, because women are so marginalized in society that anything that kind of associates me with a woman who's desperate enough to flick her bean to Proud Boys is, you know, not really like worth her salt as a researcher. So that's more of an ad hominem attack, but it is still technically an attack if you want to fit it within the DARVO scheme. Let's go with some more. You could tell she's been the 2 a.m. last call woman her whole life. I think what they're referencing is the bar. They like to inhabit bars. I've never been much of a bar person. I'll go out like salsa dancing with my teammates, but anyone can tell you there that I don't go there to drink, I go there to dance. So that's another ad hominem that could fall under the attack of the DARVO, which is deny, attack, reverse victim offender. So, here's one. This video is hate speech. Stop being so racist and bigoted. You're a Nazi. Definitely not a Nazi. Not really responding to that because I think it's pretty obvious that I'm Jewish. Does my hair not give anything away? I mean, I pretty much have payas for bangs. Like, what more could I do? Do I need to sing Hava Nagila? I've already danced to Fiddler on the Roof in some of my Instagram videos. Like, what is it that these people want me to do? Anyway, so this one was actually a legitimate critique. Wow, not only do you get the entire narrative wrong, not that part, you get individual incidents, names, locations, etc. wrong. In the world of fake news propagandists, you're still at the bottom of the barrel. I'm a researcher. My map and the dashboard that I'm creating are a side project that evolved from my research. But there is one thing that he did identify. There was an incident in a bar called Astoria. That bar was in Vancouver, British Columbia. Vancouver is also a city in Washington, which is in the Pacific Northwest region, a region known with very, very high Proud Boy and Patriot Prayer and PDX crew activity. So when I initially got the news story, it was input as Vancouver, Washington. It was actually put in Vancouver, British Columbia the first time, but some Twitter followers made the association between Proud Boys and the PNW region and said, I think you mean Vancouver, Washington. So I said, okay, and I fixed it right away and then went on. But the thing he did to call attention to was that it was not Vancouver, Washington, it was Vancouver, British Columbia. So that was fixed in the map, in the dashboard, and I also made a disclaimer on the video that that information that I share in the video has been fixed. So that's one that was useful, and I appreciate the War of the Worlds podcast for bringing that to my attention. However, one data entry mistake does not mean that I have zero integrity as a researcher. He says, what's it like to have zero integrity? I'd like to counter that with saying, what's it like to have zero self-awareness? If you are a Proud Boy member who likes the social elements that the group provides you, do your thing, boo-boo. No one is stopping you. But if that's what you get out of the group, know that members in the Proud Boy, the Pacific Northwest region, are making that part of your group look very, very bad. So if you are a member that likes the fraternal aspect, may not have had many friends growing up who you could relate to, desire to return to some glorious past where all women were happy housewives, which is not true, actually. The majority of women in that era were taking, prescription medication to keep their energy up and maintain their weight throughout pregnancies, and they resorted to a lot of other things to fit into this very narrow framework that men found acceptable and non-threatening. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. Let's go through just a few more comments so I can tell you more about the pattern, deny, attack, reverse victim offender. Oh, there was a comment that I put on hold. Basically, it was someone who in dashes and dots, really long, in a comment created an entire penis. I mean, I just think about the amount of time that took to create, that someone is like clicking away and making sure the dashes and the dots are in just the right pace to create a penis as a comment. I mean, what does that do? Does that make me go like, oh god, like, oh no, like I feel threatened by your massive penis? Or is that just like this childish thing that men do and have been doing since time immemorial? I'm sure the first cavemen drew their approximations of penises on the walls, and people haven't stopped since. I mean, look at skyscrapers. They're like a testament to men's penises. I mean, that's just one example, but it's just like childish. And that it's childish and a waste of time to sit there with, there must have been 300 or 400 different keyboard entries involved in drawing a penis on that. So I think about the person who must have done that and what a sad life they must lead to spend the time commenting when they could be reading a book they enjoy or an article that's not in like a very narrow ecosystem they might exist in, or, you know, trying to pick up a girl by working on themselves or looking inward and seeing like, is it me? Is it something I'm doing? Or is it that all women are fucked up because I have no social skills? So, you know, I really don't know what's going on there, but I'd like to continue and show you some more. Let me go to another video. Let's see. some of them have been removed. I didn't remove them. Ah, the one on Gavin McInnes and citizenship. So this is a common one. It's seen, in conservative circles. It's seen in men that say that they are, centrists. It's usually associated with people who say things like, SJWs or snowflakes or, leftist intolerance. And, to a certain extent, that's true. There is this culture of coddling on college campuses that makes students less adaptable to account for new information. But that's not the entire story here. So, here's one thing that one person says. LOL, that description is slow, slanderous. You'd think if you made a video about someone, you'd do some research. I have been studying the Proud Boys since 2017 on an approved project. Gavin McInnes felt threatened enough by my research to try to shut it down, which did not work. He inadvertently strengthened the protocol of my research and gave me some ins with members who felt that his treatment of me was unfair because their understanding of me from speaking with me at length was that I was a researcher trying to understand their group and not a journalist. This person is really interesting because of what I stumbled into when I was trying to respond to him. I wanted to see if he was a Proud Boy or if he overtly identified as a Proud Boy. So I clicked on his profile, and the first thing that came up was a YouTube video called 3 Steps to Make Your Penis Larger, which he did not set to private. I'm not judging anybody. Feel free to look up whatever you want. That's within some ethical reason. As long as you're not hurting anybody, do your thing. But if you make playlists of videos on how to grow your penis larger, you'll probably want to set that to private because it makes people make assumptions about you. You know the assumptions. So, I hope he fixed that. I hope you have a fairly good understanding of what DARVO means. I'm not sure if I explained that in its entirety. I will direct you to the link where you could read all about it. And I also want to let you know that if it comes up in conversation, you can say just DARVO and call it out for what it is.